household.
I just want him, if he's going to make it work, leave it alone.
She
Leave me
hasn't done
alone.
anything personally to me. In all honesty, everything
Leave me
between the two
alone.
of us is strictly emotion, right?
Feel no, honestly, I don't feel no way.
Yes, you do.
If you're going to make your marriage work, leave me alone.
Punishment for everything. And I'm the guy. I was on punishment for 2 weeks.
You should have been.
We were so much in love. I used to tie a note because we stayed on the 5th floor. It's the project, so we stayed on the 5th floor. I used to hand a note down on a string and then give it to her. She'd tie her note up and I pulled the note up. I was on punishment.
So bad, but you're not gonna do it, baby. You let me get old now, and I can talk up for myself. And I'm tired of you lying. I don't care. When I care about you, I'm supposed to care about you now. Please, I'm getting ordered today. That's why I brought you here.
Take your time. I know it's difficult.
With him being in and out of our life and kicking us, not only me, but his son out of his apartment, we landed in a homeless shelter.
I did not.
And I was not known as Champ Press Curtis. I was known as Resident 1625, sleeping in a twin-size bed with my son.
That's not true.
Sharing,
did not kick her out.
Sharing everything with other residents.
Case 1. The judge strides into the courtroom, her robe flowing like a curtain rising on opening night. With a commanding presence, she greets the uneasy faces before her. What follows won't be an ordinary hearing. It's a tangled paternity dispute involving not just one, but 2 possible fathers.
Hello.
This is a case of Marsack versus O'Malley and Mestapay.
Thank you, Jerome.
You're welcome.
Good day, everyone. Ms. Marsack, you admit to sleeping with 2 men at the time you conceived your 11-month-old son, Caden.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, you state you're here today for the sake of your baby's future and Britley need to identify his biological.
Mr. O'Malley wastes no time putting his skepticism on the record. He's far from convinced that he should be handed the dad title. His doubts stem from Miss Marsack's complicated past and overlapping relationships. She, however, pushes back with confidence, insisting her intuition tells her he is indeed the biological father.
Sleeping with Mr. Mestapay as well.
Right after me and Mr. O'Malley were together, I had met Mr. Mestapay at a party, and we were drinking, and one thing led to another, and we ended up intimate, and I honestly can't remember much of what happened.
But when the judge digs deeper, Miss Merrick falters. Details of those critical nights suddenly blur, and her memory seems less than reliable. Did she take precautions? Did she not? The uncertainty only fuels the tension.
For proof, because she had lied to me numerous times before, and her word isn't really trustworthy, at least for me. So about a week later, she sends me a letter. It looked homemade, Your Honor. I really wish I still had the picture of it. So I presumed it wasn't true.
Because you asked her for some type of proof from the doctor.
Yes, Your Honor, I asked for some proof.
And she gave you.
Then, just as the courtroom settles into one rhythm, O'Malley drops a revelation. He recalls a Facebook post by Miss Merrick is announcing a pregnancy shortly after their rekindled fling. To him, the timing felt suspicious, almost too perfectly lined up.
This message on Facebook saying that I'm pregnant and you could possibly be the father.
And what were you thinking?
I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know what to think.
So do you remember this encounter, or you don't remember it either?
Meanwhile, Mr. Mape takes the stand with his own story, and it's no less dramatic. He remembers a direct message from Miss Marsack, one that came out of the blue and instantly made him a contender in this unexpected paternity contest.
Is a real possibility that you could be this child's father?
Yes. I was constantly thinking it could be someone else's, but I wasn't too for sure because I didn't know her that well. It was just a one-night stand. It only takes one time, but...
That's right.
In a vulnerable moment, Miss Marsack shares her struggles through pregnancy and motherhood. She speaks of the isolation, the weight of decision-making, and the emotional toll of raising a child on her own. Her honesty softens the room, pulling sympathy even from those who had been skeptical a moment earlier.
So I stood up and made the decision, to go ahead and do it. I made the mistake of doing what I did, and I have to raise that beautiful child. Being since I have no idea who could be his dad, I just said, I'll do it alone. I made the decision, and I did not contact me.
O'Malley, however, explained why he's been distant. Living in another state and battling paternity uncertainty, he admits he held back from being the father figure the child may have needed. In contrast, Mape's willingness to embrace responsibility shines, painting him as the eager contender ready to fill the role.
How have you been in Caden's life?
Your Honor, I haven't been as much as I should have, but I didn't know. I understand Mr. Mestapay has been more of a father to Caden than I have, and I accept that. I was working out of state, so I didn't want to come back to Illinois to raise a child that I didn't know that was...
But Miss Merrick is far from finished. She points to what she believes is undeniable, a resemblance between O'Malley and her child, Caden. To her, the likeness is proof enough. O'Malley, however, refuses to see it, insisting that looks alone can't decide fatherhood.
Children, I refuse to have my child have a different last name than me and my other children.
When you say you believe in your heart and your gut that Mr. O'Malley is the child's, are there any other reasons? Is it just looks?
No, Your Honor, there is one big reason. My son does look just like his other baby. Mind you, my son is a week older than his other baby.
But finally, the moment everyone has been waiting for arrives. The DNA results, sealed in an envelope, are brought forward.
Determined by this court that the biological father is Mr. O'Malley.
Big relief, Your Honor. Big relief. Finally got the truth.
I can feel that across the room.
What do you want to do? Would you like to work it out?
You need to step up.
I will.
Case 2. The courtroom opens with an air of anticipation. Everyone settles into their seats as the judge greets the parties and introduces the case. Jackson Jr. versus Jackson. Jerome politely thanks the court, and the room responds in kind.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is the case of Jackson Jr. versus Jackson.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Mr. Jackson, you say that 41 years ago, you were falsely accused of fathering a little girl, and that accusation has ruined your life, cost you tens of thousands of dollars, steady employment, and your...
Mr. Jackson steps forward with a revelation of his own. He shares that he once told Miss Jackson about his uncertainties when she was much younger. He details his past connection with her mother, explaining how those circumstances planted seeds of doubt.
I was like 9 or 10 or 11 years old.
You were having to process that information?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson, did you tell her that young that you thought her mom may have slept with somebody else?
I did tell her I did. I had my doubt that her mom was young at that time and she was seeing more than one person.
But you did have a relationship with Miss Jackson.
It wasn't the kind of relationship that most daughters would have with their father. I considered him as a homie.
The case takes a sharp turn when Mr. Jackson reveals something shocking. His name appears on Miss Jackson's birth certificate, but he claims he never permitted it. He explains the fallout with his wife after the affair came to light and insists he never signed the document nor attended prenatal appointment.
I told her it was not my child, Your Honor.
Did you say that because you didn't believe that was your child, or did you say that because you knew you were married and you knew you were wrong?
At that time, I believed a little both, Your Honor.
Okay, that's honest. I want to know.
Yes.
So did your wife ever find out?
Yes, she did, Your Honor.
And what happened then? Did it break up your family?
For a small period of time it did, and we got back together.
Attention then shifts to Miss Jackson's speech pattern. Her mild stutter is brought up, with Mr. Jackson pointing out that stuttering runs in his family. Expert testimony from Molly Dale supports the idea that the trait can be genetic, though its severity differs.
Serious psychological issues in my life to the point to where I've had issues with choosing functional men. I can't choose functional men because I don't know what that looks like.
If I've done anything to hurt you when you were small, I apologize. But I wish you had to let me know way before now and told me.
More emotion pours in when Mr. Jackson's stepson, King David Gabriel Johnson, testifies. He praises Mr. Jackson's fairness as a father figure, both to his biological children and his stepchildren. Johnson argues that if Mr. Jackson truly believed Miss Jackson to be his daughter, he would never have denied her.
Frequently it is. There is a strong genetic component with stuttering. About 60% of people who stutter have family members that stutter as well.
And then she talked about, in her testimony just recently, having to deal with a slight level of stuttering. Is the severity or lack thereof any indicator?
Someone in a family who is severely, profoundly a stutterer, and then you can also have someone that is a mild stutterer as well.
A heartfelt twist soon emerges. Mr. Jackson confesses that one of his biggest regrets is not taking a DNA test sooner. He presents a letter written to the court, filled with emotion and a request for clarity.
This is in my hand letter I wrote
May I see that?
I wrote to the court to try to get help.
So you sent this letter to the court in your home state?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
And the letter reads, I don't have any amount that I can offer for compromise because I only get $1,352 a month.
Finally, the truth is about to be revealed. The DNA results are in, and all eyes turn toward the judge.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Jackson Jr., you are her father.
Case 3, the courtroom drama of Maurice versus Bro, opens with immediate tension. Mr. Morris stands firm, declaring with confidence that he is the biological father of 29-year-old Miss Bro. On the other side, Miss Bro pushes back, claiming her entire life has been built on lies told by her mother.
This is a case of Morris versus Brister.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Mr. Morris, you say you are 100% certain that you are the biological father of the 29-year-old woman standing across the aisle. And want this court to put an end to years of confusion, lies, and doubt. Is that correct?
Adding fuel to the fire, Miss Smith shocks everyone by revealing that she and Mr. Morris have rekindled their relationship after more than 14 years apart. But despite their reunion, one massive question remains unresolved. Is Mr. Morris truly Miss Bro's father?
Of your relationship right now?
Well, we're back together.
You are?
Yes. We're a couple.
After how many years?
14 years to be precise.
14 years.
Yeah.
And now you're back together.
Yes.
But there's still this paternity issue hanging in the back.
The twists only grow sharper when Miss Smith admits that years ago, she told Mr. Morris none of her children were his. Her decision, she says, wasn't about truth, but about closing the door on their past.
Issue, and she told me to my face that, none of her children were mine. So I left.
So how old was Miss Brister at this time?
I would say she had to be 5, maybe 5 or 6.
So, Miss Smith, you remember telling him that Miss Brister was not his child?
Things intensify as Miss Bro presents what she calls Exhibit AIA timeline of conflicting information she has received throughout her life. She even recalls taking a DNA test as a child, though the results remain a blur.
Wasn't my father.
You brought an exhibit for the court?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to see it, please.
This is just a timeline of some of the things that she's told me over the years. I've always known the man on my birth certificate to be my father.
Emotions rise when Ms. Smith breaks down, revealing she lied not out of malice, but as a form of protection. She confesses she wanted to shield her daughter from Mr. Morris's troubled past, which included brushes with crime and instability.
I remember.
And then in 2015, your mother tells you that a deceased man, Mr. Woods, could be your father.
Yes, Your Honor.
You may step back over to the podium, ma'am. This is confusing. It really is.
It's very confusing for me.
And I can see how much that hurts you.
It's hurt.
But Mr. Morris has his shocking testimony. He recalls being served with child support papers while incarcerated, which led him to believe he was the father after all. He explains he stayed away to protect Miss Bro from his chaotic life, yet she now questions why neither he nor his relatives ever reached out to her.
When you remember
her saying that the man on my birth certificate wasn't my father.
So, Mr. Morris, as you look at Miss Brewster testify and you hear her testimony, how does that make you feel? You've maintained that you thought you were her biological father all along. She's got 4 stories she just presented to the court.
See, I never knew anything about her.
Finally, the moment arrived. Judge Lake holds the DNA results in hand, ready to deliver the truth that will either validate years of uncertainty or shatter long-held beliefs.
Determined by this court, Mr. Morris.
Yes, Sean.
You are not her father.
What?
I'm very sorry.
Case 4. The courtroom doors swing open and the drama begins. Everyone takes their seats as the case of Thomas V. Nelson is introduced. Miss Thomas claims she had 5 children with Mr. Nelson, but now she questions the paternity of the youngest, Jakai.
You spent 6 years in a relationship with the defendant, Mr. Taylor. In return, he cheated on you and is now questioning the paternity of your youngest child, 8-month-old Jakai.
Right away, emotions flare. Miss Thomas lays the blame for their breakup squarely on Mr. Nelson's repeated infidelity. She explains how she tried to hold the family together for the sake of their children, even enduring the betrayal time and time again.
Throughout almost our whole entire relationship. Why wouldn't you want to make something like that work with somebody you had all these years with? He gave up the relationship. I wish it was that easy for me during them times to just throw it away.
It was easy. I asked her, Your Honor, I said, are you gonna leave this guy alone? She said no. I even threatened with her. I was like, if you don't leave him alone, I said, I'm gonna go back to North Carolina.
But Mr. Nelson isn't about to sit quietly. He flips the script, accusing Miss Thomas of her unfaithfulness. He claimed he found something suspicious among her belongings and noticed changes in her late-night behavior.
With another guy?
Yes.
How did you find that out?
The dude's picture was popping up on her phone.
It didn't start like that. He decided to leave because at that time we did grow apart.
I used to find stuff on her purse and everything. She'd be like, I'm going to work today. He'd come back and be like, you like this outfit right here? I'm like, yeah, where you going? Well, you work? If anything, I've been here with the kids all day long.
The judge wastes no time pointing out the contradictions. Miss Thomas, who initially painted herself as the victim of infidelity, admits she retaliated after Mr. Nelson's repeated cheating. She explains that she saw another man out of hurt, not habit.
Why then do you start having other men popping up on your phone?
It wasn't men, it was that one man, not men.
And why? Why did you get in a relationship with this one man? As retaliation for his cheating?
So he seen how I felt all them years he cheated on me. He felt it.
The evidence discussion gets even more intense. The judge brings up ovulation records and key dates of intimacy, which appear to support Miss Thomas's timeline timeline. When asked if he remembers the dates, Mr. Nelson admits he does not.
On my tracker, Your Honor,
every
as
time I
you
messed with him, she said that's why she, every time she had sex with him, that's why she put it on the calendar like that.
In October, it looks like around the 28th is when your cycle begins.
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss. Then comes another shocking twist. Mr. Nelson admits he once went through Miss Thomas's calendar and noticed inconsistencies. He claimed she admitted to making mistakes, while she counters that she had been upfront about everything.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you remember those dates, Mr. Nelson?
No, I do not, Your Honor. I had went through her phone. She was like, every time I had sex with him, and this is after you left, I started having sex with this guy. So I was like, all right. So then I went back further in her calendar. I'm like, so what's these days for? She was like, because I said, so we was together then when you was doing it. She was like, okay, so well, I had a slip up.
As if the drama wasn't enough, Miss. Thomas recalls how Mr. Nelson initially celebrated the pregnancy. She says he told people the baby was his before, suddenly changing his stance. She believes his denial only began after reconnecting with Miss Campbell, his wife.
Up until the time he met Miss Campbell, that's when he started denying my son. He was cheating on me with her. I didn't know about her until I found out she was calling him through Facebook because we were still messing around even when he was with her.
And then the spotlight shifts to Miss Campbell. She testifies about a disturbing discovery, a video of her husband with Miss Thomas. She recounts how she pieced things together by observing their behavior, confirming her suspicions.
This message is also that we still mess around, still to this day.
Oh, you mighty quiet now, Mr. Nelson.
And I'm gonna tell my wife right in front of her, I apologize. My wife already knew about it. She had caught me. It was a video and everything. She caught phone.
He's apologizing now because he got caught.
All right.
The court grows tense as Miss Campbell goes into more detail. She describes finding the video dated around Miss Thomas's visit to Greensboro. When confronted, Mr. Nelson had no choice but to admit what his wife had already seen with her own eyes.
This message is also that we still mess around, still to this day.
Oh, you mighty quiet now, Mr. Nelson.
And I'm gonna tell my wife right in front of her, I apologize. My wife already knew about it. She had caught me. It was a video and everything. She caught phone.
He's apologizing now because he got caught.
All right.
The judge highlights Mr. Nelson's manipulative behavior and his inability to be truthful with either woman. The audience reacts to the revelations, and the case seems less like a legal dispute and more like a raw family drama playing out in real time.
It was dated April 3rd, which would have been, the first day or so that she had showed up in Greensboro. All I know is I saw her demeanor when she came around. She was kind of like high-stepping. I'm like, okay, this is a person that's supposedly supposed to be so hurt. Like, why is she grinning? And then I saw his demeanor and he looked guilty.
She says she wants Mr. Nelson to stop contacting her and instead focus on repairing his marriage. She alleges he still reaches out, trying to maintain a connection, and when pressed, she claims she has proof of these communications. The layers of deceit only deepen.
No, I made a slip up.
He had plenty of slip-ups.
He's comfortable from going from wifey side chick.
I'm not nobody's side chick because your husband is the one that tells me he wants to leave.
But that makes you a chick. We're legally married.
Wait a minute. No, it does not. No, it does not. He told me he married you out of spite.
No, I did.
Let's get some order. Both of you all confused. He's sleeping with both of y'all, okay? So, look.
The judge steps in, confronting Mr. Nelson about his attempts to dodge responsibility and his role in this messy triangle.
I want him to leave me alone, honest. If he's gonna make his marriage work, let your marriage work. I'll try to move forward with my life. He calls me and tells me how much he misses me and wants to be with me. It's not the other way around. And I have messages. And if he wants to be with me—
Did you bring the messages to court with you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss Thomas once again asserts her wish to move forward without him in her life, while the judge makes it clear that manipulation and emotional games have no place in this courtroom.
I just want him, if he's gonna make it work, leave it alone.
She hasn't done anything personally to me. In all honesty, everything between the two of us is strictly emotion, right?
Honestly, I don't feel no way.
Yes, you do.
If you're gonna make your marriage work, leave me alone.
Stop.
Finally, the moment of truth arrives. After all the accusations, the heartbreak, and the back and forth, Judge Lake holds the DNA results
Determined by this court. Mr. Nelson, you are the father.
Case 5. The courtroom comes alive as the judge officially announces the case of Nelson, Verfith, Sterling, and Haynes. Judge Jerome introduces the parties involved, and right from the opening, it's clear this won't be an ordinary proceeding.
Believing one man was your father, yet had another man listed on your birth certificate. Then, after you turned 30 years old, a third man, the defendant, suddenly contacted you on Facebook claiming he was—
Miss Nelson takes the floor, sharing a family history tangled with confusion. She explains how she grew up believing one man was her father, only to later discover that a completely different name appeared on her birth certificate.
Copy of your birth certificate with you?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Father's name listed, Vincent Preston Nelson. And that's not the name of the gentleman you visited in prison.
I was hurt because I never knew who he was. I just knew that this man was my dad, and I felt like my mom.
The judge then calls for a crucial piece of evidence: Miss Nelson's birth certificate. To everyone's surprise, the name listed is Vincent Preston Nelson, someone she doesn't recognize as the father figure she thought she knew.
Lancaster, I'm your dad. He was sorry for not being in my life. He now wants to be in my life. And he left 2 numbers. I contacted both those numbers. Both the numbers were disconnected because it was 4 months.
Things take another unexpected turn when Miss Nelson recalls receiving a Facebook message years earlier. The message was from a man named Christopher Lancaster, claiming to be her father and expressing sorrow for missing her upbringing.
On Facebook, I had problems with other people in my life, so I didn't want to use my real. I made up a Facebook page of Christopher Lancaster. I always was looking for my.
The twist arrives when Mr. Sterling admits he was the one behind that Facebook message. He confesses he used the alias Christopher Lancaster to avoid complications in his personal life. The room shifts with shock as layers of deception start peeling away, revealing a truth that's more complicated than anyone imagined.
Of Christopher Sterling or Christopher Lancaster?
No, Your Honor. The only person I knew of was Vincent Nelson.
You're saying that this was a pretty deep relationship you had with her mother?
Yes, ma'am.
High school sweethearts and...
The revelations don't stop there. Mr. Sterling, also known by multiple names, claimed he was present at Miss Nelson's birth. He insists he is her biological father and that he's been waiting for the moment to share the truth.
Punishment for everything. And I'm the guy. I was on punishment for 2 weeks.
You should have been.
We were so much in love. I used to tie a note because we stayed on the 5th floor. It's the project, so we stayed on the 5th floor. I used to hand a note down on a string and then give it to her. She'd tie her note up and I pulled the note up. I was on punishment.
Miss Nelson struggles to hold back tears as she expresses the emotional toll of her situation. Growing up with conflicting stories about her parentage has left her with a deep sense of loss and longing.
Hi, ma'am. Thank you for joining us today. Ms. Haynes, you are Ms. Nelson's mother.
Yes.
You admit you had a relationship with this gentleman, Christopher Sterling.
Yes.
But do you know him as Christopher Sterling?
I know him as Christopher Sterling because
Finally unlocking the mystery. At last, the courtroom reaches its climax. The judge prepares to reveal the DNA test, results the definitive answer to the decades-long uncertainty.
And determined by this court, Mr. Sterling, you are her father.
Case 6. The courtroom drama kicks off with the case of Andrews v. Corbett. Mr. Andrews accuses Miss Corbett of paternity fraud, claiming his signature was forged on the birth certificate of their son, Quinn Andrews Jr. He insists he isn't the biological father and that the entire record was manipulated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is the case of Andrews versus Corbett.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Mr. Andrews, you and your mother are in court today suing your ex, Miss Corbett, for paternity fraud because you claim your signature on the birth certificate of her 5-month-old son, Quinn Andrews Jr., who you believe is not your biological son.
Miss Corbett fires back, denying the accusations. She suggests that Mr. Andrews' doubts don't come from truth, but from his unwillingness to step up as a father, influenced heavily by his mother's opinions. As both sides present their opening statements, the courtroom quickly eats up.
Let me see that birth certificate. So you say somehow your name just appeared on the birth certificate?
Yes, ma'am.
Quinn Andrews Sr., name of father, right underneath. But you didn't sign it.
No, ma'am.
Take me back to that day. You believe somebody put your name on there?
Yes, Your Honor.
Explain.
Day of the birth, I cut the umbilical cord. I requested a blood test. I stayed at the hospital for like 24 hours. And the following day, I ended up leaving to retrieve a car seat. I didn't sign nothing.
You claim somebody put your name on the birth certificate.
Yeah,
Mr. Andrews then paints a vivid picture of the day his son was born. He recalls cutting the umbilical cord, but swears he never signed the birth certificate. According to him, he even requested a DNA test before leaving the hospital briefly. When he returned, he claimed his name had already been added without his permission.
I mean, anybody that has kids, and she should know because she has enough, knows that in order for the birth name to be on the birth certificate.
Well taken care of, baby.
told my son not to sign a birth certificate until he get the blood test to prove that that is his
and that's
child.
why he's lying and said he didn't sign it because she told him not to sign it.
That's a
and
lie.
he didn't even want a blood test until she put her.
Did you witness him sign it?
I was there.
But Miss Corbett stands firm, asserting that not only did Mr. Andrews sign the paperwork, but there was also a witness present who saw it happen. The testimony clashes head-on with Mr. Andrews' version, sparking arguments from family members in the gallery. Personal grievances bubble to the surface, and the hearing teeters on the edge of chaos as voices rise.
So what you're saying is he didn't do what his mother told him to do, so now he's saying he didn't sign it.
If he signed the birth certificate, his name would actually be signed on that form.
So you're saying there is no cursive signature. It's only name.
Name.
What was the nature of this relationship? Take me back.
We were in a relationship, but I could never say it was actually a committed one because every time we hit a bumpy road in our relationship or we get into an argument about anything, it could be simple. Quinn is out the door, right back to his mama.
Mr. Andrews then shifts gears, presenting a surprising diagram of their former apartment and the surrounding neighborhood. He uses it to back up suspicions about another man's presence in their home, tying it to his doubts about Quinn's paternity.
What does this diagram show?
This right here is a 2-story apartment building. This right here, like, is the driveway. Like 2 feet from the driveway is like the front entrance. And it's the same in the back. And right here is a slab and like an empty field. There's no gate around this side of the house, but on this side of the building, it's a gate. My cousin mama stayed right across the street, and you could sit right here and like literally watch all this. And if somebody murdered him over here, it'd be real obvious.
At this point, Judge Lake intervenes, urging both parents to remember what truly matters: the well-being of their son. The courtroom grows quieter as the judge emphasizes that, regardless of accusations, the child's stability and future must come first. For a moment, the focus shifts away from the fighting and toward the impact on young Quinn.
Lying through the skin of his teeth.
What I gotta lie for?
Because this is my first time hearing this.
So you've outlined 4 pieces of doubt as to whether or not Quinn is your biological child. So you are saying that these allegations are not true.
They are
you
not
did
true.
not sleep
The
with
only
these
reason
men.
why he is saying that is because he is standing on side of her. And the other time, whenever I talk to Quinn, I don't hear none of this. All this, what he telling you about, this happened a whole year and something ago. This was way before my baby was born.
Mr. Andrews resumes by reflecting on his limited involvement in his son's life. He admits the relationship is strained and nearly absent, largely due to his doubts about fatherhood and his ongoing conflict with Miss Corbett.
So you spent quality time with him.
He does not. I have to beg him for to come get my child.
Like 7 times.
He was there 6. I said, Quinn, you have to come meet me somewhere. I can't drive all the way down there. He was gonna drop my child off at a fire station.
Your Honor, I told her that. I specifically told her that just to get her to move because she lied to me and told me she was threatening me with the police.
When he get tired of my baby, he won't drop him off at a fire station. You just heard him.
This baby has been on Earth for 5 months. This is not funny.
Finally, the moment everyone has been waiting for arrived. The DNA results are in, and Judge Lake prepares to reveal the truth.
It has been determined by court. Mr. Andrew, you are the father.
Let it be known.
Case 7, the gavel strikes, and the case of Wooten Jr. versus Backus officially began. Judge Jerome introduces the parties, setting the stage for a heated battle over both paternity and more than $92,000 in back child support.
This is a case of Wooten Jr. versus Backus.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Ms. Smith, you and your father, Mr. Wooten, are suing to prove Ms. Backus is not his biological daughter. You say your dad owes more than $92,000 in back child support for a child who isn't his.
From the outset, the clash is fierce. Miss Smith and her father, Mr. Wooten, insist that Alandria Backus is not biologically his child, despite the mountain of unpaid support tied to her name. On the other side, Miss Backus stands firm, maintaining
Income is being garnished by 50% each month to pay off that debt.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Backus, you say that Mr. Wooten is your father, and when the results prove you right, you demand Ms. Smith and the rest of your father's family apologize for treating you so poorly. How do you think Ms. Backus has ruined your father's life?
the drama deepens as Miss Backus opens up about a painful childhood memory. She recalls undergoing blood work during earlier paternity testing, describing it as a traumatic experience she never forgot.
And he should have showed up, and when they took blood from me just to have the test, he should have showed up for the test and we wouldn't be here today.
And they drew blood?
Yes, ma'am. I was a young girl when my mama finally decided to have child support papers on him. She made me go to the doctor. First of all, I remember remember being young and scared, and I started crying.
Attention shifts back to Mr. Wooten, who paints a different picture of his past. He insists his relationship with Miss Backus's mother was brief, far shorter than she claimed. He says his doubts grew stronger after learning about her subsequent pregnancy with another man, leaving him uncertain about whether Alandrea could truly be his child.
After we met, been together, she said she was pregnant. 4 months after we was together, we broke up.
Well, Daddy, you and Mama got two different stories, and I'm coming to find out the truth
because
That's
Miss
right,
Daniels is a liar.
Once she was 4 months pregnant with her, I realized that most of the things that she was only interested in was me helping her financially.
When Miss Backus's mom said, I'm pregnant, did you think it was your child?
I didn't question it that it wasn't at the time.
So when did you start doubting?
My mama said I was a playing
She
child.
became pregnant again years later. She wanted to get back together. When I got back together with her, had she been seeing anybody else before we got together? And she said.
Then, a striking piece of evidence surfaces. Miss Backus produces her birth certificate, where her mother had handwritten Mr. Wooten's name. She explains that her mother was so sure of the paternity that she wanted his identity recorded.
Because she know who her baby daddy is. That's one thing my mama
let me
do
see
know.
this evidence. This is your birth certificate?
That was my birth certificate. But when I filed for my new one, it came up blank on his name. That means she wrote it in. Yeah, my mama probably, look crazy for making a crazy move, but she know who her father is.
How many
So
lies
it is
did
your
mother tell?
contention that because your mother was so certain who your father was.
The family's complicated history takes center stage next. Miss Smith recounts how other children who were not biologically related were also distanced from the Wooten family over the years. This pattern of inclusion and exclusion stirs strong emotions, hinting that Alandrea's situation may not be as unique as it seemed.
And excluded because they were not family. They were treated as family while they were there.
You want to sweep me underneath the rug so bad, but you're not going to do it, baby. You let me get old now, and I can talk over for myself. And I'm tired of you lying. I don't care. When I care about you, I'm supposed to care about you now. Please, I'm getting order today. That's why I brought you here.
She declares that no matter what anyone says, she has always felt like a Wooten and carries that identity proudly. She recounts moments of support from her stepfather that allowed her to keep a bond with Mr. Wooten, even through rejection. Her voice cracks with emotion as she insists that her truth deserves recognition.
Now look back at me. I'm going to tell you where I was. My mama was protecting me. And me and you both know why.
Protecting you from your own father?
Protecting me from your rumors. From all y'all rumors. Okay. And then you sitting up here not claiming me. I really ain't got no time for you. Because at the end of the day, I got a man that came in my life at 10 years old and brought me to my daddy. My stepdaddy brought me to him. You hear me? They sat at the same table. My stepdaddy had to take me to my father because I was...
And finally, the moment the entire courtroom has been waiting for arrives. Judge Jerome prepares to reveal the DNA test results.
Junior, you are not her father.
So now I know why I got treated like I am, and I'm good. I want to apologize to the Wooten Pryor Clayton family for my mom's BS. TC, I came here with the confidence of knowing he was my father and knowing you was my son. So now that I know the truth, I'm sorry. Mama, you got to pay that back.
She'll always be the daughter to me.
Case 8, the courtroom buzzes with anticipation as the judge welcomes everyone and begins roll call for the explosive case of Moore 5 Scott. From the start, it's clear this isn't going to be an ordinary hearing. The energy in the room feels electric, and the audience knows they're in for some serious fireworks.
You may be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is the case of Moore versus Scott.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Good day.
Mr. Moore wastes no time diving straight into his bold accusation. He claims that he is the true biological father of little 4-year-old Ali Luna and insists that Miss Ta, Scott has deliberately allowed another man to step into the role of
court
dad.
today to prove you are the biological father of 4-year-old Aliana. You and your current girlfriend claim the defendant has played on your emotions for 4 years and has allowed another man to raise your little girl. You are desperate to put the defendant's doubt to rest so you can finally be in your daughter.
But Miss Scott is not backing down. With sharp conviction, she pushes back, stating firmly that Mr. Moore is not the father of her child. She emphasizes that a DNA test already supports her position and urges him to let go of his claim.
Say you are positive Mr. Moore is not your daughter's biological father. Once the test proves you right, you want Mr. Moore to leave you and your child alone. Mr. Moore, you say you've always believed Allie is your daughter. Tell me why.
Yes, Your Honor. I've never seen my child a day in my life.
You've never seen her?
A day in my life.
But you're convinced she's your daughter.
Yes, Your Honor.
So why hasn't he seen her? If he feels that way, why hasn't he tried to see her?
In a surprising twist, Mr. Moore admits he has never even met Ali Luna in person. Still, he insists the child is his basing his certainty on the relationship he once shared with Miss. Scott, this startling admission shocks the gallery, leaving many whispering in disbelief as the judge begins pressing for more detail.
Now, what was the nature of your relationship?
We met on a dating site. It was kind of like an escape plan for something that I was going through. So I wanted to
plan.
Yeah.
Escape plan.
So I
was more
wanted
than
to
an
get away.
escape plan.
I wanted to get
your
away from
boyfriend.
that. I wanted to get away from that. So, you know, I kind of led him on. I wasn't trying to pursue nothing, you know, be no family or anything with this man. We met together. He asked me to move in with him. I moved in with him. We maybe stayed together maybe a month.
And when was this?
That was in July of 2013.
The backstory adds another layer of intrigue. Miss Scott explains that she initially met Mr. Moore through a dating website, using the connection as a way to distance herself from a difficult personal situation.
When you did have sex, Miss Scott, did you use protection?
No, it wasn't protected.
So you moved in for a month. Were you faithful during that month, or you all were only seeing one another?
I was currently in a relationship when I met him originally.
When you moved in with him?
Right.
So why would you do that?
Because he was my escape plan. He was my dummy, basically.
The drama spikes when Miss Scott reveals that during a regular health checkup, she discovered she was pregnant. While she first informed the man she believed to be the father, she also made a call to Mr. Moore around the same time in action that opened the door to today's messy courtroom battle.
You know, I told my daughter's father that we were going to have a baby. I never, Mr. Moore, that we were going to have a baby together. I never told him that.
Your Honor, she called me and told me she was pregnant. Yes,
Never.
And how far along was she when she called to tell you?
She was a couple of weeks, about 3 to 4 weeks, she said.
3 to 4 weeks. And your response was?
I might be the possible father because I was having sex with her unprotected multiple times.
Judge Lake then zeroes in on the critical timeline. With precision, she calculates possible conception dates using a standard medical conception calendar, testing both parties' accounts against the science.
We moved in together in August. We had sex together in August.
After you moved in with her?
Right. We didn't have sex when we first met each other.
And he was saying, okay, and this is where the testimony differs significantly, because you say you had sex with her the first day you met her.
Which he's wrong. He's wrong. We didn't have sex the first day we met. We had sex after we had moved in together.
Gotcha. So you're saying you were already pregnant from the other guy when you moved in with Mr. Moore?
I was.
Just when it seems the courtroom couldn't get any more intense, another bombshell drops. Old social media posts come under scrutiny, some appearing to suggest that Miss Scott may have once acknowledged Mr. Moore as a possible father figure.
And was like, we need to get a DNA test done.
Really?
Like, she did that.
Never did that. I never did that.
And photos of your son and Miss Scott's daughter was submitted to the court. And on the right side is Aliana.
They don't look alike. His baby looks like him. My daughter looks like me, and she resembles.
She looks like me. She got the same pointy ears just like I do.
20 years. A lot of people have pointy ears. Her dad has pointy ears.
Finally, the moment everyone has been waiting for arrives. The judge prepares to read the DNA test result.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Moore, you are the father.
Case 9. The courtroom atmosphere is thick with anticipation as Judge Lake calls the session to order. Jerome announces the case of Curtis versus Vers, Buckley, and immediately the stakes are clear. Miss Curtis is determined to prove that her ex-fiancé, Mr. Buckley, is the father of her 22-month-old son, Xavier.
This is the case of Curtis versus Buckley.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Miss Curtis, you say this court date extremely important to you. You're here to prove to your ex-fiancé, Mr. Buckley, that fathered your 22-month-old son, Xavier, because his denial has left you homeless and in.
When Mr. Buckley takes his place, the tension only climbs higher. He wastes no time accusing Miss Curtis of infidelity, maintaining that he has every reason to doubt Xavier's paternity. He insists the upcoming test will vindicate him once and for all.
Miss Curtis is a cheater, and today the test will prove you are not the father.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Miss Curtis, you say today's results mean everything.
Well, Your Honor, I grew up with a father. I know how important it is to have a father in your life. And Mr. Buckley says it's very important for our child to grow up.
Curtis's voice shakes as she recounts her hardships. With tears streaming down, she reveals how Buckley's rejection left her and her son homeless. She emphasizes how much Xavier needs his father, recalling her struggles growing up without a consistent parental figure.
Take your time. I know it's difficult.
With him being in and out of our life and kicking us, not only me, but his son out of his apartment, we landed in a homeless shelter.
I did not.
And I was not known as Champ Press Curtis. I was known as Resident 16. being 25, sleeping in a twin-size bed with my son.
That's not true.
Sharing,
did not kick her out.
Sharing everything with other residents.
Then, an unexpected twist. Mr. Buckley confesses that he was the one who had Miss Curtis evicted. He justifies his decision by alleging that she threatened to make his life unbearable. On top of that, he reveals his struggles with fertility issues, which fuel his doubt about fatherhood.
Had surgery.
Is that true, Mr. Buckley?
Yes, that is true, Your Honor, but I allowed her to live in my apartment at that time. I was being nice to her. She got mad at me because I was with someone else. I didn't want a relationship with her. She told me she was gonna make my life a living hell while living in my apartment, and that's why.
But the story doesn't stop there. Miss Curtis recounts the day she first told Buckley about her pregnancy. According to her, he was skeptical at first, but later came around, even accepting Xavier as his son.
And Miss Curtis tells you, I'm pregnant.
Told her congratulations. Whose is it?
No, you didn't.
That's pretty much what I said.
No, you said you told every other girl you were in a relationship with, congratulations, who's the father? But I was different, that you were willing to step up and be his father, which you haven't done.
I haven't done that because of you.
Because of me?
Yes.
You got a car, you can drive.
You were living in my apartment. I allowed you to live in my apartment. You
and
left
still didn't come and see him.
As the narrative continues, Mr. Buckley reflects on his conflicting emotions during the pregnancy. He admits he wrestled with both hope and doubt, torn between wanting a child and fearing betrayal.
When she was pregnant, did you believe that there maybe was a miracle and you did father this child?
Not at first, Your Honor, no. The months continued to go along, continued to get older, and I wanted a child. I accepted Xavier as my child, even though I don't think I can have kids.
Joey, I know when I conceived. I know who I was with when I conceived.
I know who you were with too, and it wasn't just me.
So staying at your house and spending Christmas with you? Who was I having sex with? Your brothers? Your uncle?
The emotional intensity peaks as Miss Curtis describes Xavier's birth. She recalls the pain, the joy, and the overwhelming relief when it was over. According to her, Buckley was by her side the entire time, offering support and encouragement.
To the day you gave birth.
I was in labor for 13 and a half hours. Mr. Buckley was with me for the whole 13 and a half hours. Pictures of him at the hospital.
I'd like to see those.
I ended up having to have an emergency C-section because little Xavier's oxygen level dropped and he was in distress. And when I woke up and they wheeled me by the nursery to see him, Mr. Buckley was standing there with tears running down his face. That was the moment that I fell in love with him.
Out of nowhere, a witness steps forward with a shocking allegation. Mr. Buckley's friend, Miss Bunch, missed that Curtis was frequently seen with other men during the time Xavier would have been conceived.
She is extremely promiscuous. My witness here can tell you a little bit about that later, but...
So you're saying, sir, in addition to your doubt as it relates to your own medical challenges and not believing and being told you would not be able to father children, believe that Miss Curtis was very promiscuous.
Correct.
The focus then shifts to the legal implications of Buckley's choices. Despite his doubts, he had signed Xavier's birth certificate. Buckley admits that his bond with the child swayed his decision, even as uncertainty gnawed at him. The judge reminds both parties that this act carries weight in the eyes of the law, further complicating the outcome of this heated battle.
On the birth certificate, Mr. Buckley,
and I have proof of that too.
I'd like to see that. Are you currently paying child support?
I'm on
no,
child
he quit his
support,
job so he wouldn't have to.
I'm working right now. I'm missing out on work right now. I just started back.
Father's name, Xavier Buckley. That's you.
Correct.
You signed it voluntarily.
Yes, you're right.
And is there a child support order?
At last, the moment of truth arrives. The judge prepares to reveal the DNA test results, the one piece of evidence that will cut through accusations, confessions, and emotional appeal.
Determined by this court, Mr. Buckley, you are not his father.
Oh, baby.
Case 10, the episode wastes no time diving straight into chaos. Jerome calls out the case of Ramos versus Edwards, and immediately, sparks start flying. Miss Ramos walks in with determination, ready to prove that her former fiancé, Mr. Edwards, is the father of her newborn son, Xavier.
Hello.
This is a case of Ramos versus Edwards.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Ms. Ramos, you are in court to prove that your ex-fiancé, Mr. Edwards, fathered your 1-month-old son, Xavier. You claim that after sharing your news that you were pregnant with his baby, women he was secretly cheating with started coming out of the woodwork trying to convince him he's not the dad.
Miss Ramos takes the stand and lets loose her frustrations. She paints a picture of a relationship full of ups and downs, reminding the court that they were once engaged and later reconnected after years apart.
Infidelities. You say you brought a bombshell witness who will reveal the truth and seal your case. Ms. Ramos, you say you're fed up with his drama. Tell me why.
I'm fed up with his lies, his manipulation. He does this to other people. I'm not the only one. How can you deny such a beautiful baby?
So what was the nature of this relationship? I mean, you said that you were engaged.
We known each other for years before.
Mr. Edwards seizes his chance to speak, and the courtroom energy shifts. He argues that Xavier may not be his child, pointing directly to Ramos's fling and suspicious shifts in her pregnancy timeline. He claims that the dates don't line up and accuses Ramos of withholding the truth.
So you all were in a serious relationship.
Yeah, but
But you admit you had sex with an ex of yours.
Right. When I spoke to my doctor, and she told me the date that I conceived was way before the time I even had sex with my ex.
So, Mr. Edwards, you now are informed that she had sex with one of her ex, and this is what leads you to doubt?
That and other confessions.
Then, an even bigger accusation shakes the room. Edwards claimed that Ramos was romantically involved with one of his relatives while pregnant. The allegation makes jaws drop. Ramos firmly denies the charge, standing her ground as Judge Lake steps in to remind everyone that family isn't just defined by blood.
You have extended family, you have your village that's your family, and sometimes you have family through marriage.
But I also disagree because them two don't even get along. They've always been beefing, they'd always been fighting, they'd always argue. They wanted to fight each other.
Okay, so let's just say for the record in this courtroom, that sounds like family.
Right.
The case only gets messier when Edwards' behavior comes under scrutiny. Ramos presents photos from the hospital images of Edwards proudly holding baby Xavier with a beaming smile. She argues that his happiness in those moments contradicts his current denial of fatherhood.
Did you believe you were the child's biological father?
No.
I have proof right here, Honor, with him being at the hospital with this big smile on his face. I'd rather that you not come to the hospital if you felt the way you felt than coming to the hospital and playing as this role if you're gonna doubt.
You presented the court with pictures.
Yes, I have.
Just when it seemed things couldn't get more tangled, a witness named Miss Val enters the fray. Brought in by Edwards, she fuels the fire by testifying about rumors that Ramos was already pregnant before reuniting with him.
Mr. Edwards, you've asked this woman to marry you. You've shown up at the hospital for the birth of this baby. You gave him your last name. You checked every box. Applies to father. After all of this, you say you're not biological father.
There was just the doubts. It was just the cheating.
Mr. Edwards, you say you brought a witness today? I'd like
sure.
to hear from that witness.
Yeah, she's only been here since around February. She's a nobody.
So to the witness, stand next to the judge.
Because you're sleeping with her too.
That's what you think.
Finally, the moment everyone has been waiting for arrives. After all the drama, accusations, and tears, Judge Lake prepares to reveal the DNA result.
Determined by this court, Mr. Edwards, you are the father.
You. I want you to apologize to our son. I want you to apologize to him. As I told you.
Case 11, the gavel falls, and the courtroom settles into silence. Judge Lake greets everyone warmly, setting the tone for what appears to be a standard session. Jerome acknowledges the judge, and the room responds politely. But little do they know, this hearing is about to turn into an emotional storm no one will forget.
This is the case of Jacobs versus Walker.
Thank you. Good day, everyone. Ms. Jacobs, you claim that your world was shattered just after your 14th birthday when your dad suddenly up and disappeared. Today, you say you've brought him to our courtroom to demand answers.
Yes. The case centers on Miss Jacobs, who steps forward with a story that immediately tugs at the heart. She recalls the day her world crumbled. Her father, Mr. Walker, vanished from her life shortly after her 14th birthday.
Biological daughter. Then on her 14th birthday, you overheard a conversation that changed everything. Mr. Walker, tell me, what happened on your daughter's 14th birthday?
On her 14th birthday, Your Honor, we were outside celebrating with 4th of July. I heard an argument.
When Mr. Walker takes the stand, the room grows tense. He explains that during the excitement of Jacob's 14th birthday party, he overheard a conversation that changed everything. His ex-wife and her relatives revealed that he might not be Jacob's biological father.
Now, 14 years later, at her party, when we're supposed to be having a good time with her birthday, and you wait 14 years later to drag it out.
And then what happens at that point? The relationship ended. You ended the relationship.
Unable to contain his emotions, Walker confronted his wife in the middle of the celebration. The heated exchange escalated quickly, unraveling their marriage in front of family and friends. Soon after, Jacobs and her siblings were placed in foster care while Walker relocated to another state.
What's going on at your 14th birthday party?
No, I actually just seen him walk out of the house. He was really angry, so didn't understand what was going on at all. After that, we ended up being put in foster care. And when I was in foster care, my father...
Jacobs shares her side of the story, and the pain is clear in her words. She describes feeling abandoned and confused, completely unaware of the truth behind her father's sudden departure. She even presents a letter she wrote at 14, begging for his return, a letter filled with longing and unanswered questions.
A letter here from where I took, and I wrote it when I was 14, when my dad actually left.
Can you read that for the court, please?
I can. Dad, I wish you never left. It really sucks that you're not here. Every night I pray that you come back. Sometimes I even pretend that what it would be like if you were still here. I don't know when I'm ever going to see you again, and it hurts. I'm kind of angry about it too. Why did you ever leave me? Why did you abandon?
Her testimony grows even more emotional when she reveals the desperate measures she took to gain stability. At just 16, Jacobs became pregnant to secure emancipation, a way to create the family structure she felt robbed of.
At the time you wrote that letter, did you know your father at that time didn't know whether he was truly your biological father?
No, Your Honor.
You had no idea?
I didn't understand until I was 16 years old. It was really hard. I actually ended up getting pregnant when I was 16 just to be emancipated.
The spotlight returns to Walker, who now reveals another painful chapter. He recounts the day he caught his wife in the act of infidelity, confirming his worst suspicions and shattering any hope of reconciliation.
A few hours later at her mother's house, and I said, is she there? And she's like, well, no, she ain't been here all day. I said, she's supposed to be at your house. I needed her to watch the children so I could go to work. So I go out looking for her, and I start out at the Walmart where I normally know that she goes, and I caught a guy down there that I knew worked with her.
But the story doesn't end there. Walker insists that despite the lies and separation, he never stopped fighting to be part of his children's lives. He describes years of legal battles, false accusations, and constant hurdles placed in his path.
So when we get there, she still wanted to fight about it, and I told her, I said, what were you even doing down there? And then I confronted her about the Walmart thing from her friend saying that they've been in a relationship ever since she started working there. Denied all that, and I'm like, well, then why did I catch you at the dude's house drinking beer with 4 other guys and him?
His voice breaks as he declares that biology does not define his love. Whether or not DNA connects them, he insists he has always seen Jacobs as his daughter. He presents evidence letters, attempts at contact, and testimonies demonstrating his efforts to stay in her life.
Mother with it, and her mother's like, 5-year-old, you're going to believe everything a 5-year-old says? And I told her, I said, where does a 5-year-old even have time to sit and think
capacity
about something for an adult? She's not thinking nothing about an adult way. She's thinking how to play with her Barbies or something.
Yes.
Jacobs, visibly moved, admits that her anger toward her father had been fueled by years of misinformation. She reveals a recent reconciliation where she realized many of her beliefs were based on falsehoods spread by her mother.
You are Mr. Walker's biological daughter.
Yes, Your Honor.
And so, Mr. Walker, I have to ask you, what are your other doubts?
All my doubts together goes all the way back to in my childhood. I was probably 6, 7.
Finally, the court reaches the pivotal moment. Judge Lake prepares to reveal the DNA results.
Comes to the paternity of Miss Aisha Jacobs. Mr. Walker, you are Aisha's father.
Case 12. The tension in the courtroom is unmistakable as the case of Ramirez versus Jordan is called to order. Officer Jerome introduces the matter, and all eyes shift to the parents at the center of the storm. Ms. Ramirez has brought her former partner, Mr. Jordan, before the judge, insisting that he is the father of her 4-month-old daughter, Mila. The only thing standing between truth and denial? A DNA test.
Ramirez versus Jordan.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Ms. Ramirez, you have dragged your ex-boyfriend to court because you are tired of him denying your 4-month-old daughter, Mila. You're hoping today's results will make him finally step up.
From the start, the courtroom feels more like a battleground. Mr. Jordan wastes no time stating firmly that he is not Mila's biological father. According to him, he couldn't possibly be the parent because he wasn't with Miss Ramirez during the time of conception.
You claim to have evidence to prove that you were nowhere near the plaintiff during the time of conception, and therefore you cannot be Mila's biological father. Ms. Ramirez, you say Mr. Jordan does nothing for Mila?
He was not there for the pregnancy. He wasn't there for the birth. He's never provided diapers, wipes, formula, nothing. I take care of not only her, but my other 2 children as well.
The exchanges grow sharper by the minute. Miss Ramirez accuses Mr. Jordan of walking away from his obligations as a father, abandoning not just Mila, but her entire household. He strikes back by reminding the court of his presence in the lives of their 2 older children.
There hasn't been help for at least over 2 years now.
Are you avoiding responsibility, Mr. Jordan?
No, Your Honor. I'm just here to prove that Mila's not my baby. She's a liar, pathological liar. We have 2 other babies together, and I've taken care of Levi and Adrian. Like, I've stepped up. I've changed their diapers. Like, Adrian was here for 7 months. I took care of him. I do everything for them.
Then, a new layer of drama emerges. Miss Ramirez insists that when Mr. Jordan visited her state, the two engaged in unprotected intimacy moment that, she argues, could very well explain Mila's existence. Mr. Jordan, however, isn't backing down.
The week he had came to visit, he was coming down with a friend. During that time, we were having unprotected sex. I had told him that I wanted another child with him. He's even said that, if a woman says that, they want another child or a child with him, he feels the need that he has to.
What?
That's not true, bro.
Yes, he
No,
has.
don't pay attention to that. Your Honor, I just want to say also, when I broke up with her, I had found, sex messages.
But the twists don't stop there. Under pointed questioning, Miss S. Ramirez admits she did sleep with another man after Jordan's visit. Still, she quickly clarifies that the encounter was protected, claiming there's no possible way that man could be Mila's father.
A week after he left, I did sleep with someone else, but I did use protection and he did pull out. But that was literally a day and a half later when I took a pregnancy test.
Your Honor, there's no way, and on top of that, she said that she had actually slept with someone before and she thought she was pregnant by another guy when she was talking on the phone. So
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I never said that.
What did she tell you, Mr. Jordan?
She told me that she thinks she was pregnant with some guy, she just happened to tell me. Mike, okay?
Just when the case seems tangled enough, a witness steps forward. Miss Emery Gillard. She identifies herself as Mr. Jordan's current girlfriend and, astonishingly, reveals that she is expecting his child. But that isn't. Alamari testifies that Ramirez privately confessed Mila might belong to another man.
Name for the court, please.
I'm Amari.
And what's your last name, Amari?
Gilliard.
Gilliard. Thank you, Miss Gilliard, for joining us. How do you know Mr. Jordan and Ms. Ramirez?
I met him first and foremost, of course, and ended up being his babysitter for his second child that he has, Adrian, a few months, actually, while he was in Georgia.
But now you're dating him and actually having his other babies, right?
All of this builds to the moment everyone has been waiting for. The bailiff delivers the DNA results in a sealed envelope, and the judge prepares to announce them. The room falls into total silence, as even the smallest sound shuffling papers, muffled breaths. And just like that, the case balances on a razor's edge. Within seconds, the truth about baby Mila's paternity will be revealed.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Jordan, you are the father.
Hold on tight, because this case just veered into shocking territory. The burning question now is whether the child belongs to the deceased man or his very own brother. The fact that Miss Brockton had ties with both siblings is raising eyebrows everywhere, leaving the family in a whirlwind of suspicion and disbelief.
Ms. Brogdon, you are in court to prove to Ms. Jones and her daughter that her deceased son, Tyrell Jones, fathered your 1-year-old daughter, Quamira. You say once the DNA proves your case, they need to step up for your baby.
Yes, ma'am.
As the trial unfolds, Mr. Brogdon delivers a revelation that rattles the room he claims Tiona knew Paul wasn't the father, but Terrell was. Tiona, however, refuses to accept that entirely, suggesting uncertainty remains. Amidst it all, her biggest worry lies with her family's pain under the weight of these relentless accusations.
Affected your family?
Yes, and my brother's he has to live with guilt because of it, Now he has to carry this with him.
Because he has guilt because he knows he slept with her.
Yeah, and it's a possibility, that he could be the father. He was even upset about trying to take the test. It's too much.
The courtroom atmosphere boils over when two women erupt in a shouting match. Tima begs for accountability, demanding the men take responsibility for the child. Yet, Paul's sister and mother argue that dragging their family through this storm is unjust, forgetting that a child's future hangs in the balance.
You're saying that Ms. Sugden and Ms. Jones, they didn't know anything throughout the pregnancy?
No, they did know something about.
You believe they did?
Yes, they did. I came to the funeral pregnant. I was 8 months pregnant. How didn't y'all know I was pregnant?
We didn't see you at the funeral, Mish.
I
didn't see you.
I came to your grandmother's house the day that he passed away.
She sat at the table at the repast with the family, pregnant.
Yes.
At last, the long-awaited truth emerges. Paul is not the father, but Terrell is. Now the spotlight turns to the family. Will they acknowledge the baby as their own blood and give her the love she deserves? The choice is clear, but whether they rise to the occasion remains to be seen.
Mr. Paul Jones is not the father.
I'm sorry.
Which means
I'm sorry.
Tyrell Jones is Quamira's biological father.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
The Scope's story begins with a symbol once cherished tattoo now turned into a painful reminder of betrayal. The man she once admired is the same person she now resents deeply. Her fight in court centers on proving that Mr. Pokey is the father of her newborn daughter.
Miss Phillips, you've opened your case today to prove to Mr. Polk that he is the father of your 1-month-old daughter, Promise. You say after Mr. Polk's initial acceptance of the pregnancy, he has been MIA since your daughter's birth. Is that correct?
The judge digs deeper, questioning why a man would deny his own child. Was their connection built on love or nothing more than fleeting desire?
The first time you got together, when was that?
It was back in June of 2017.
That wasn't the first time. It was like July 4th.
Did you have sex the first time you all got together, or did you actually go on dates?
We did. We actually did. I'm talking about straight to it. Straight to it.
Cause that's all I wanted at the time. Cause that's all I wanted at the time.
Straight to it.
Mr. Polk admits without hesitation that he only sought physical satisfaction, leaving behind a trail of emotional wreckage.
No respect. You the one sleeping with Miss Phillips while you got a whole girlfriend.
Tell him again, Erner.
And then you're not even taking her calls.
Yeah.
Now I feel like Miss Phillips, there are some other people you could have probably called.
Done with it at the
He wasn't
same
done with me.
time.
I wasn't having that. He wasn't done with me.
I was done with it at the same time.
When pregnancy entered the picture, Miss Phillips reached out for support, but was met with silence. Instead of offering help, Mr. Pokey contacted the landlord and then blocked her entirely.
When you downgrade him, you downgrade yourself, because you're the one laying on your back with your legs open for him every time he calls. About the sex the first time it happened like this, you just a snap away.
Claiming disrespect, his cold dismissal shocked even the judge, who reminded Miss Phillips that she too allowed this cycle to continue by letting him back into her life repeatedly.
Has been determined by this court. Mr. Polk, you are the father. That's your beautiful little girl.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry about the doubt.
Well, now that he knows that she is, he needs to help me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.